I was one of the most indecisive people that I know. I had
And you had so many ideas,
very many
right?
ideas. Sometimes I would even share them with someone, and then the other person would take up that idea and run with it. I don't know if it's okay to say this, but I'd worked in 8 different organizations. So I noticed that there was a lot that I had done in my capacities, different capacities, but I felt like as a person there was no much growth. They were asking, what do you really want?
Yeah, it's not what do you really want.
Yes.
There's a difference, right?
That is now how I trimmed down my to-do list. Not I removed it. I removed the word to do.
Yes.
I said no.
You have to become. Yes.
You can say a to-do list or a be list.
Yes, the being list.
Yeah.
I love that.
I made the decision to do what I'm doing right now. Not today. I didn't make it last month. I made it years back, but then the decision to actually take the steps, it started after the program was done, and I said, this is it. I went in, dived in, and here we are.
All right, welcome, Andrew.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you here. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
I'm so excited to have Andrew here because we were just having a conversation before just when he came into the studio, and he's really inspired me already. He's gotten me excited about this conversation. Thank you, Andrew. So introduce yourself and tell us what you do, Andrew, before we begin the conversation.
Hi, my name is Andrew Mosetti. I am simply a young man who is looking to better their lives. But professionally, I'm in the financial markets. I work with a company that is based in the UK, so we handle things remotely. So I am funded by them to handle a small portfolio, and I'm happy to be doing that.
Thank you, Andrew. That was very modest, a small portfolio. Yeah, sure.
It is small.
Andrew is a big dreamer, and this is what I love about you, Andrew, because you remind us how we can think big. Now let's go a bit into your journey. So before we met, I know we used to work for the same company at some point, but I'm not sure if you were together at the same time. I'm not sure about that.
Actually, it was a different time.
Different times, yes.
When you left, I think it was a year after is when I came.
Joined, okay.
And then in the marketing team, everybody just spoke about Shalini, so we had to know it.
Thank you for that.
So again, congratulations, because you see, when your name is spoken after you leave in a light or in a positive sense, then it means what you did had some impact.
Well, I'm humbled to hear that. Yeah, thank you so much. So tell me, we happened to bump into each other at some mall here in Nairobi. My sister was with me and she introduced me to you. I think we had not met before that. And you started talking about how you had these bigger aspirations and you wanted to do bigger things. So tell me a bit about your journey prior to us meeting. What was exactly happening? What was going on in your life?
Well, that's a very good question. It's loaded, but I'll try to unpack it. Yes, so first of all, I would say this was cosmically aligned, because sometimes when you're thinking about something so badly or so heavily, so intensely, then somehow things happen in the universe to either align you to exactly what it is. And unfortunately, it happens positively and negatively. Because when you think so much about negativity, again, that's what happened. So back to my story. I was in employment at that time. I was just winding up on my last employment, which I had even told myself in the beginning of that year that I am not in that space where I feel like employment is doing me any favors.
Yeah.
Yes. And for anybody who is watching, don't be in a rush to leave your workplace. So let it be inspired from your own personal dreams. So yes, I was always inspired to do bigger things because I had grown in so many career spaces in many companies. I don't know if it's okay to say this, but I'd worked in 8 different organizations over the last 16, 17 years.
Yeah, for a similar timeline. Yeah, same for me.
Yes. And I noticed that, yes, there was career growth, there was CV expansion. Like right now, if I was to do a CV, it would be more than 4 pages. And maybe to take AI to
Yeah.
bring it down to 2 to 3 pages. So I noticed that there was a lot that I had done in my capacities, different capacities, but I felt like as a person there was no much growth.
I feel like you had outgrown all the places that you had been at, right? And when I met you, I actually could sort of resonate and look into your identity. It's like I recognize that this is a person who can do way bigger things, and I think it was not just about from a perspective of what you are saying. It was, I could feel your energy, that this is somebody who can go way beyond where they are right now. So that was very, very inspiring. So tell me then. I think we were in touch briefly right after that, because we had a call, and you wanted to find out what I was teaching and etc. So then what inspired you to actually come into the whole space of coaching, like to come into one of my programs? What inspired you? What made you feel like, yes, I'd like to do this?
Yeah, the best part about the way we met is that I spoke a lot about my challenges, but then the best thing about our conversation is that what you provided was not a copy-paste solution, but a way to work through whatever challenges I was facing, the personal, mental challenges with my career growth and with my aspirations. And I felt like it was timely, because I was at a point where I was looking for people, but then most of people were giving online teachings, but there's nothing to back it up. Okay, so the selling point for me was, number one, you spoke about Bob Proctor, and being a person who has grown in personal development. Definitely, if you look for anything motivational, anything about making yourself better, there's a high chance Bob Proctor has popped up in your searches.
And I like that.
Yes, and because I actually watched The Secret, and it really moved me, even though people talk about conspiracy theories around it. Not my business, but I liked the way he brought up his concepts.
Yes.
And then I didn't even know that he had trainings, he had coaching sessions. So when you say that you've worked with Proctor Gallagher, actually Proctor Gallagher, then I thought maybe this is where I need to, this is how I need to plug in to now define my journey. And that was now my selling point. And of course, I have come to know that sometimes the reputation of a person, it precedes him, not in their presence but in their absence.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, like I said, you mentioned, you were mentioned by our marketing team when I was working with the organization, and I felt like, because this is a person who has been given a reputation, like a stamp, like a clean bill of health. So I felt like this is not somebody who will just take things lightly, because you see, when I share my passion with someone and I see that they have the same enthusiasm as me, like we are resonating at this same or at a high energy level, then that actually inspires me to make decisions faster.
I love that. Yes.
And those are the two things that make me really think through and finally make a decision to take up the training. And I can say that was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
I can openly say that because it really impacted a lot, and we can speak about that later. But the two things that came out for me was the fact that you are working with somebody who is internationally recognized.
Yes.
And has a solid reputation for bringing out the best in people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
And also, like I said, your reputation, and definitely having also worked with your sister.
Yes.
I knew that these are not people who are going to mess about.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that. That's very important. I mean, I completely agree with you. Yes.
So I was very keen about that, because in other quarters, in other businesses, I've fallen victim to so many
Yes.
of those kinds of businesses where somebody promises and they don't.
Yes, I
deliver.
think you had mentioned that when we met, and there's there are a lot of schemes and trainings that are trial and error,
Yes.
and that's not something that you want to go into because there's time investment, there's a financial investment behind it, there's energy. Your energy is the most important because it's something somebody can't give back to you once you spent it, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah, and I felt like I'm not in the space of exploring.
absolutely not.
Yes.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
yes.
because the kind of training you provide is not the training that someone can say, let me spend 3 months on this. If it fails, I can start again. You're giving out, you see, when you're training, when you're taking up a coaching session in someone, you're giving out a piece of yourself. to someone.
Absolutely.
So you have to be sure
Yes.
that this is someone who will not just be there just for the money.
Yes.
Yeah, because again, there's so many people who they market
Yes.
a lot of what they do.
Yes.
But when you get into working with them, you realize they just wanted you to pay, and then after that,
Yeah, that's a bit
there's
unfortunate.
some trainings
Yes.
that I've taken before in other fields, and once after paying, the person sends you videos and a PDF.
Oh wow, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe that's their style of imparting their
Yes.
coaching.
Yeah, but then they shouldn't call it coaching.
So tell me, Andrew, we talked about you made a decision. I love that word, and I think that's very relevant to you. So I want us to talk a bit about decision making. Like what do you think are some of the challenges people face when they have to make a decision, and why do you think somebody should make a quick decision? How would that make a difference in their lives? Can you shed some light on that if you don't mind?
Yes. Decision was actually one of the major things that impacted me negatively because
You made my day.
Yeah, I was the most undecisive person.
Okay, that's what you mean. I thought making decisions impacted you negatively. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. I was one of the most indecisive people that I know.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I would come up with an idea, write it down, and then there would be a process of how I should
Implement.
go about it.
Yes.
And then I would end up shelving it.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I think I remember you mentioning that
Yes.
at some point. Yes.
Yes. I had
And you had so many ideas.
very many
Right.
ideas. Sometimes I would even share them with someone, and then the other person would take up that idea and run with it.
Oh wow.
Yes.
And you never did it. You never did anything about it.
And I faced that even in my previous workplace. It will be in a room, people will be talking about ideas, and fortunately, some of the things that I contribute there, they end up being part of the company strategy. Then I notice, okay, I think it's time to monetize this, but I have a personal problem of getting into making a decision. It's important to make a decision for two reasons. Sometimes that thought, because decision comes from your thought process.
Absolutely.
Now, when a thought comes in and tells you, your inner voice tells you to do something, then it is from a place of knowledge.
Yes.
Yes. There's a part of you that is more in tune with yourself than any other person. You do not need someone from
So well said.
yeah, you do not need an external voice to tell you.
Absolutely. And this is where I tell people that, stop consulting others who haven't done what you want to do, number one. And sorry to say this, but also when you keep consulting your loved ones who are projecting their fears on you because they want to protect you, they love you, so they might discourage you from doing certain things. So it's not that I'm putting you against your loved ones, right? But it's because they don't have the faith that it may work out, so they don't want you to get disappointed. So it's very important to make your own decisions. Yes. As you said, listen to your inner voice. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. And sometimes we take advice from people who have failed at what we want to do.
Yes.
And that is the worst place.
Yes.
Yes. It's good to take advice from someone who has failed and succeeded.
Yes, because then they can show you the way based on their failures. They can show you how to
share the experience, and then you can take that and apply it to yourself. Yeah, and it's important to take a decision for that reason, that the thought that comes to you, it's always at the right time.
Absolutely.
Because we always think that there's a better time.
Yes, the best time is now.
The best time is actually yesterday or that.
I love that. Thank you.
Yes, it's now. You're right. But then to make it even intuitive, the time when the thought came, it came, and then it came at the second time, third time, and that's the challenge that I used to face. In 2016, I had the thought of doing what I'm doing. I delayed it for some 5 years. 2021, I even got now a group of people that came in and wanted to be trained, and I did it successfully. And once that training was done, again I went back to look for a job.
So you didn't pursue the practice that you are. Yeah, you didn't feel like you probably didn't feel ready, so you didn't make a decision.
Yes.
Right.
My inner voice was telling me that you need to achieve a certain level of perfection.
That's another thing, by the way. Everybody keeps feeling that they're not ready enough.
Yes.
So I want you to hear what Andrew has just said, that he postponed his decision because he felt he wasn't ready. He needed to get further qualifications. So this is what I want you to know, that the best time is, as he said, it's yesterday. It's not even today. It was yesterday. So whatever it is that you desire to do, start doing it now. Now let's talk about, we were discussing this prior to, this video happening, that, going for what you truly desire than something that you think you can get, because I think this is even part of what we learned as part of the coaching program. So tell us a bit about that. What has been your experience, around pursuing what you really want, regardless of the results that you're currently experiencing. What would you tell, the audience? What's your experience around that? What's your advice?
Yes, that's a very wonderful question, because I was one person who used to have a to-do list of 50 things.
I remember you said that, yes.
I used to have a list of 50 things, and I want to achieve them now.
All, yes.
Even just having like a routine. And that was actually one of the reasons why I crashed out many times over. There's a point where I was in a space of employment, and that workspace had to take me out of that place. So I was actually retrenched from a company, and I felt like, now this is my time. Let me get into business. Yeah, the timing was right. But my state of mind was not the best, because I was thinking of doing entrepreneurship. I was thinking of getting into import-export. I was thinking of doing it online. I was thinking of working with the team.
Trying to be a jack of all trades, yes. Sort of.
And I can tell you honestly, if I write down the things that I was good at, I would come up with a very long list.
Yes.
And I'm not saying this to blow my own trumpet.
No.
But
right.
it comes from a very long. If I started working in 2011 till many years, definitely I must have picked out some skills.
Absolutely.
Yes. So and those skills were not just picked out at a low level. I went until the point of management, which means I was able to even lead and train others.
Yes.
So I felt like, because I'm good at this, then I can monetize and bring a business out of it. Yes, the idea was good, but the execution was wrong. Why? Because I did not have a structure that would help me work through that.
Yes.
And then sometimes, like you have said, you might think that, yes, because you're good at selling, now you should sell everything. No. Just because you're good at content creation, you should have like 5 different pages. That's not the thing. Yes, we are good, especially most of us who come from this side of sub-Saharan. We learn a lot of things.
Yes.
We learn sciences, we learn arts, we learn geography. So we find that we are cognitively able to understand things and put them together, understand concepts. But that again makes us very good at many things, which again is a curse. It's a blessing and it's a curse.
Yes.
Because
it can create a lot of confusion.
Yes.
because you may in the process forget what it is that you truly desire. As you said, you want to try and monetize each and every skill that you have, and how, I mean, where is that taking you, right? That's the question. And that's why, can you talk about your experience around that, in terms of, you said that you had 50 things that you wanted to do. So I think when you came into the coaching, right, that's when I think it gave you some level of focus that this is what I truly want to do. And I believe you've been so persistent, through up to this time, like you've been so persistent. So can you talk a bit about that? Like how did you decide that this is exactly what you want to do? How did it get you focused, and how is it going for you now? What's your experience been around that? Now that you've decided this is exactly what I want.
Yes. Thank you for that question. Now, when we went through the training, actually the decision was one of the first training. Let me just give you a sneak peek of what the Thinking into Results program is about. Of course, I'll not give you everything, but I'll give you just a sneak peek with your permission. Yeah, decision making was the first course, the first module.
Yeah, it was in the first module, I remember, yes.
And I think it was one of the trainings that they were asking, what do you really want?
Yeah, it's not what do you want, what do you really want?
Yes.
There's a difference, right?
Yes. What do you want?
Yes.
And what do you
really want?
Yeah, because making a decision has to be tied with your desire.
Absolutely.
It has to be tied with what really keeps you up. Yeah.
I love that. What really keeps you up? Yes. And you are an example of that.
And it wakes you up as
yes.
Like, no, this thing I need to do. This thing I need to do. There's this place I need to arrive at. And that is now how I trimmed down my to-do list. I removed it. I removed the word to do.
Yes.
I said no.
You have to become. Yes.
You can say a to-do list or a be list.
Yes, the being list. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, because to do, which means you're still thinking of it in the future.
Yes.
So again, it's important to bring all our future aspirations into the present.
Yes.
And that is now where thought process moves from thought into
action. Yes.
And into speech.
Yes.
Speaking about it and taking the steps.
Yes.
And that is where the program really helped me, because I made the decision to do what I'm doing right now. Not today. I didn't make it last month. I made it years back, but then the decision to actually take the steps, it started after the program was done, and I said, this is it. I went in, dived in, and here we are. Yeah. Of course, people have this fear that, of course, I'm going to fail. It's going to be tough. Yes, it's going to be tough. But also not making a decision, it's actually the most expensive mistake you can make.
Thank you. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. This is something that I've learned from Bob. I live decision making every day of my life, because, who are you confirming that you're being by making every decision? All your decisions are confirming a certain identity.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So let's talk a bit about identity. Like how do you see your identity being shifted? Do you feel there's been a shift in your identity since you worked on yourself? And how?
Definitely. Many of these people who we look out to as successful is because they spend the most time on the least things that make the most impact.
Absolutely. Yes.
And now that is how my identity has changed, because I have stopped looking at myself as the jack of all trades.
Yes.
I have started looking at myself as a master of a few.
Yes.
And now mastery is now taking the deliberate steps to improving myself, my skill set. Because I used to think that, I have attained this level of experience. I am at this age. And then I look out, somebody else who is younger than me by 15, 20 years is maybe looking rich or looking successful. So I felt like, I delayed a bit.
The comparison trap. That's so common.
So part of the training which I liked, which changed me, was now the self-image, which again, it's another sneak peek I've given you. And I started looking at myself as the problem and the solution, not just the problem.
I love that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because I used to say, it's my fault that I'm not able to do this. Yes, it's my fault.
But what are you going to do about it? Yes.
So problem identification, yes, but then solution seeking is also my responsibility.
We are the creators of our problems, unfortunately, through how our paradigm works, and the same paradigm can give you a solution once you shift it, right?
Yes.
So that's wonderful.
Yes.
Now tell me a bit about your identity shift from employment into entrepreneurship. How did that change? Now you've become a completely different person. So who are you? Who do you say you are when you are in employment, and who is the different Andrew now as an entrepreneur? Who have you become?
Interesting. It's the same Andrew, but it's Andrew 2.0.
I love that. What is the 2.0 version?
Yes. Now, first of all, when I was in employment, there was a lot of indecision, like I said.
Yes.
Because you see, when you're in employment, other people are making decisions for you.
And there are a lot of limitations, right?
You're a branch manager, but
external noise.
Or you'll go manage Westlands, you'll manage Thika Road, you'll manage this place. They'll promote you and demote you whenever they decide.
Yes.
Because they can do it.
Yes.
Yeah. So now that used to put me in a place of fear.
Yes.
Because no matter how big you are, there is always that thing that makes you afraid.
Yes.
And in employment, I was always having that fear of loss of income, fear of being redirected from my career path, and that used to affect me negatively. But now, when I'm in entrepreneurship, the only fear is losing income, which I feel like I can turn around and make a comeback.
Yes, because you can create whatever it is that you want to achieve, right?
Yes.
So even if you do a bump up against challenges, you can turn that around, as you said, and you can make it work in your favor. Fantastic.
So Andrew version 1 was a creator for others, but Andrew version 2 is a self-creator.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh wow,
Yes.
you made my day.
Now I don't wake up thinking, what will my boss say?
Yes.
No.
What do I want today?
Yes.
That's what you're asking yourself. What can I do today to get to the next level?
And if I didn't achieve it yesterday, I don't get into a board meeting with myself to start blaming.
Yes. And regretting.
No.
Yes.
I look at it from the point of, now we are here.
Yes.
How do we get to the next step?
From here.
Better.
How do we keep progressing?
Yes.
Fantastic.
So it's like the punches don't stop coming.
Yes.
But then we take them a bit like with a bigger fist.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's
with a different attitude.
Yes.
Yes.
Because attitude is now a bigger fist.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. But now on this other side, you take the punches because you're afraid if I confront this person.
Yes.
Not really confronting, but if I have
Speak
this
up.
conversation
Yes.
about something that is not going right, I'm afraid that I might hurt the ego
Yes.
of someone. And if I hurt the ego, and then this someone can wake up one day and make a decision that might shake my ground.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're basically at their mercy, but now you're in charge of your own outcomes, your own circumstances. You create your circumstances.
Yes.
I love that.
And that is why I chose to work with that organization remotely.
Yes.
Because I decide my hours, I decide my work structure, my strategies and all that.
Yes.
And that it's actually very good if you have a structure. And the good thing is I had already gone through the training on how to planning, on how to set up a structure. So now that I have the structure and I have the freedom, then it becomes easier and better.
Absolutely. Wonderful, Andrew.
Yes.
Now, to wrap it up,
Yes.
What would you say to somebody, you know, about coaching who is undergoing any sort of challenges in their life, career, business? What would be your, maybe in 4 or 5 sentences, you know, you can tell us, or you can rather tell the audience, you know, what you think of coaching with regards to helping people?
I would tell them simply, just get started. When that idea or that thought comes to tell you to get help, go get it. I remember even when we met,
Yes.
we didn't start immediately.
Yes.
It
Yes.
was, I think, 2 months later.
Yes, exactly. You joined a 5-day workshop and then you came
5-day
into,
workshop,
yeah.
and now, we started now this mentorship,
Yes.
the coaching.
Yes.
Yeah, and during that 1.5 month, I can tell you the things that I was afraid about, they were actually things that I had set up in my own mind. So I can tell you that whatever you're afraid of, 90% of it is just made up by you.
I love that.
What you've accepted
Yes.
to be your reality.
And you can change it.
And you can change it. So if you feel like you want to become better, go to someone who has made others better and start off. I know sometimes people would say, okay, and how about the budget? But then not taking action is also a budget in itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's I think it's more expensive in the long run.
Expensive.
Right? It feels difficult now when you're putting in the money,
Yeah.
but when you think of it as an ROI, what is the return you'll get in exchange for the money that you'll put in? I think it just diminishes the amount. That's my perception.
True. And you see, with coaching, you can never put an ROI on it, because when I notice something about myself is there's a level of mental trauma that I had collected
Yes.
through my work life.
Yes.
And when I learned how to take it out on my
Undo
my
it.
system, then it opened up a lot of things. So then how do you put an ROI?
Absolutely. And it opens up things for lifetime.
Yes.
It's not a temporary
Yes.
happening,
Yeah.
right? It happens in the long term. So
Yeah.
you're still using the material that you learned.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for being here. It's been wonderful. And thank you for watching. And this has been such a powerful conversation with Andrew. Andrew has been such an inspiration. He talked about investing in yourself, about making decisions, about going for what it is that you really want, and persisting through the challenges that you bump up against every single day. So if you are somebody who's experiencing indecisiveness, who is bumping up against challenges, who doesn't know what it is that they really want, you have so many options in front of you, but you have no idea what it is that you truly desire, then do get in touch with me so I can help you do that.